What's going on, folks? Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and in very exciting news, in my opinion, we have a brand new class added in the third-party section to D&D Beyond, and this is MCDM's Illrigger class. And if you think you might have misheard what I said, no, that's correct. Class, which is the second time ever we've seen a custom class be added to D&D Beyond. The first being Critical Role's Blood Hunter, and now we have the Illrigger by MCDM. This, I think, is a very good thing. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff here. I'm not going to do a full-blown review of things in this video. If you are interested in seeing my opinions on it in review format, let me know in the comments, and we can make a follow-up video where we actually review it. Because this is one that I've been familiar with kind of on the periphery and have known about it for a while, but never truly dove into it. So we could maybe dive in to a full review in a future video. And this is the revised version as well, including things like updated kind of abilities, as well as 2 additional subclasses. So even if you're a fan of the Illrigger in its previous iteration, this one has some updated stuff as well. But what I wanted to talk about that I think is really exciting is what this could potentially mean. And this is a big if, right? Do not get it twisted on this, all right? We've only, in the time D&D Beyond has existed, only ever saw one class added that was not one of the official canonical D&D classes. We have the base 12 plus the Artificer, which as far as I know still isn't fully updated in D&D Beyond. And then we got the Blood Hunter from Critical Role. Now we know that D&D Beyond sponsored pretty heavily starting the second campaign of Critical Role, and one of the characters in there was playing a Blood Hunter, one of Matt Mercer's original, his custom class. It started off as the Witch Hunter for Vin Diesel in the Dean Diesel skit, and then became the Blood Hunter, which was released originally on the DM's Guild as a charity thing, and then it ended up on D&D Beyond for free for use, which is pretty cool. But a lot of us out there, myself included, I'm sure plenty of you have wanted the ability to create custom classes in D&D Beyond. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of technical work that needs to happen as far as the programming and the coding goes for that, but the thought process would be, even if it's something like you don't like the existing version of Barbarian and you want to take and tweak Barbarian, the base class Barbarian, whether 2014 or 2024, and you want to add in some other things or tweak and adjust some stuff, you can't do that as it stands in D&D Beyond right now. The only thing you're able to do is make a custom subclass and then add in extra features where you'd want them to be. But it doesn't really feel right, and you also ultimately can't alter the base class by removing things or adjusting things. You can only add in extra stuff via a subclass or roundabout ways with feats and things. So because we'd only ever seen the Blood Hunter, it seemed, I think, to a lot of us that was it. We were never going to get the opportunity to see any additional classes added to D&D Beyond. Just that was going to be how it was. But I do think the introduction of the Illrigger to D&D Beyond, a brand new class with a unique class with 5 unique subclasses, could spell good things for the future. Now, I think it'll obviously go to see how many people go and buy this and then end up picking it up for themselves. But if it does very well and is, highly supported and does a good job of translating the Illrigger's abilities to the D&D Beyond character sheet, then perhaps other third-party folks who have unique classes could get those added to D&D Beyond, and then fingers crossed, ultimately, maybe one day, we'll get homebrew class creation, which would be something I think a lot of us would be very excited about, as it does seem, to some extent, Wizards of the Coast is making good on their promise to turn D&D Beyond into a marketplace and less just kind of, just an asset tool, where we are seeing more third parties come online into D&D Beyond. And then as time goes on, more and more will be added things that are very popular, right? Like Kobold Press's Tome of Beasts, the various aspects from, the Dungeon Dues. We see more from MCDM, and all of these things being added in. Hopefully, at one point, we'll get to the point where you can publish yourself, almost like a Steam marketplace, which is something they had expressed interest in doing in years past. So, maybe this is the slow rollout of that. So here is the Illrigger on D&D Beyond. You can see there's only $15 to pick it up. You can get it right now. It comes with 1 class, 5 subclasses, 2 magic items, and 5 spells. And it kind of just goes over a little bit here. You can see what the features of the book are, and it tells you what you're going to unlock in D&D Beyond, right? The character builder, usage of that, virtual tabletop. This is, again, just kind of high level what D&D Beyond's going to unlock. But it's got all the information here. And, again, talks about 2024 core rule books, etc. But if you were to go to the Illrigger revised actual class itself, you can see that what I thought was interesting is right at the start, there is this introduction from Sadie Lowry. It says, I was thrilled to be involved in revising the Illrigger. Our goals were twofold. First, we would bring the Illrigger further in line with other 5th edition classes, following groundwork laid out by the incredible Mario Ortegon. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. But second, we would expand the class, adding 2 new subclasses, the Hellspeaker and the Sanguine Knight, retainers and magic items. So we've got all of that here. There's obviously fantastic art in here as well. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see that we're going to have this whole brand new class. Now, again, having not known too much about it, as far as power scaling and things like that, I obviously check with your DM before you just go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to play this. But, it's I know that this is a well-loved class, so hopefully we do get to see its more third-party full-blown classes added to D&D Beyond. And again, if we were to go over to characters, I don't know if I technically have the Illrigger unlocked. We can go ahead and see. If I go ahead and hit create a character, standard, I've got everything turned on here, and we go to class. Will there be an option? So I don't think I have it officially unlocked inside, because I do see the Blood Hunter here. I can access it all, but I guess I don't have it unlocked in my character builder, so I might have to purchase it to, is it? Okay, no, all partners are in here. So yeah, I don't know, but my assumption is, unless it's just not fully in here now, is that down here under the partnered content, you'd have MCDM and the Illrigger there. So again, if you are interested in seeing a full-blown review of this class, let me know. I will do that, and then we'll also make sure we have it unlocked so that we can go and build a character and see what that looks like. Another thing that I did want to say, someone over on my Discord sent this to me. This was, at least when they went to go view the Illrigger class on D&D Beyond's marketplace, at the bottom it did have a link for the Lord of the Rings role-playing game. Now, this is something we knew to some extent. I feel like we knew was coming, or we knew Free League was going to be adding content to Dungeons or to D&D Beyond. And this kind of confirms it right here. It's set to release apparently next week, right on the 26th, which is next Tuesday. Lord of the Rings role-playing, again, it says right there, you can see it, D&D Beyond, Free League, Middle-earth Enterprises. So we could have, it seems like, next week, the 240-page 5e compatible Lord of the Rings role-playing material available in D&D Beyond. And once again, a very interesting thing, because that means all of the magic items, the features, and all of that stuff, in theory, should be available to you all for usage in D&D Beyond, which is, again, continuing to grow what you're capable of doing within D&D Beyond. And with that, they also have gone and made a couple of updates to the maps tool as well. I did a whole video on that a little while ago, which is a very kind of bare bones virtual tabletop that they have, and I've been running with it. And they did just add some pretty neat quality of life updates for combat tracking last week. It's still not where it should be, but with all of the cuts that we've seen to staffing between Wizards of the Coast, D&D Beyond, and so on, the fact that they're capable of adding in some of these additional things. Now, we don't know how long this has been happening on the back end, right? How long these kind of contracts and deals have been happening. This may have all been ingested years ago and just waiting for rollout time. But I don't know. I think it's pretty exciting, and I'm curious to see what the future is going to bring. I would love it if you could, for one way or another, whether that's, you have to work out a contract or a deal or something, to get custom classes added to D&D Beyond, because I have a couple myself. I have some, adjustments to existing classes. Like I have an update to the 2024 Ranger that I really like, that I'd like to play. But again, people are so used to D&D Beyond, and if it's not there, it almost doesn't exist for those people. So who knows? I'm excited to see this though. Like I said, if you want to see a full blown Illrigger review, let me know in the comments, and we can go ahead and queue that up for later in the week. And if the Lord of the Rings role playing game does in fact hit D&D Beyond next week, we will also at some point be going through that as well to talk about it. So anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next time.